Namaskar, and welcome once again to the Daily Nectar of Wisdom from Shri Brahmachaitanya Maharaj's Grantha. Today, Maharaj emphasizes a beautiful but often overlooked spiritual truth, that restraining selfishness is the secret to increasing mutual love and harmony in our lives. In a world that constantly encourages self-centeredness, Maharaj gently reminds us of the joy and power of selflessness. Restraining selfishness augments mutual love. Doing certain things is indispensable for augmenting mutual love. One has to connive at minor matters and to be accommodating to one another's idiosyncrasies. This will eliminate the possibility of mutual dislike or animosity. Next, there should be overruling regard for someone venerable to all, whereby one overlooks minor irritation by others. Thirdly, suggestions should not be direct and personal, nor offensive in content or manner, and should be couched in sweet and winning language. Fourthly, and this is of paramount importance, and partly includes all the foregoing, selfishness should be absolutely subordinated, eliminated. In other words, one should feel that one lives more for others than for one's own self. To conduct oneself on these lines makes a substantial contribution to increasing mutual love. One who lives thus, with an unselfish heart, may never feel want in his life, because God is bound to make up genuine needs and deficiencies where selflessness motivates a person. Talking of selfishness, most people will refuse to concede that they are selfish at all. They will plead also the exigencies of practical life. But this does not prove the point. Selfishness, like self-pride, is subtle and compelling. Its ramifications are deep and imperceptible. Selfishness may pertain to three different fields: the body, speech, and the mind. To behave with care to see that the body does not have to exert or suffer for others is one kind. To expect others to agree to what I say or not to take offense whatever I say is another kind. To expect everyone never to dispute what I say and to accept my view as the correct one is the third kind of selfishness. Now, if we base our thought on the concept that I am even more for others than for myself, we shall have to concede that we should accept the policy "do as you would be done by," and should allow more latitude to others than to ourselves. This indeed is the essence of good behavior, the essence of true duty. We cannot have or expect love from the world unless we give ours to it wholeheartedly. Only he can be said to live for God who lives for others. One who bestows his love on others freely, selflessly, earns true bliss, lasting and unalloyed. Personal reflection. Saint Vallalar of Vaddalur, also known as Ramalinga Swami, lived a life that was the very definition of love without selfishness. Born in the 19th century in Tamil Nadu, he saw no difference between himself and others. To him, all living beings were manifestations of the divine. He often said, "Jiva Karunyam," compassion for all beings, is the highest form of worship. One deeply moving incident from his life demonstrates this truth. Vallalar had established a spiritual center at Vaddalur, where he lit an eternal flame, the Jyoti, which still burns to this day. But what made his center truly extraordinary was the Satya Dharma Salai, a feeding center where anyone could eat, regardless of caste, religion, or wealth, and no one was ever turned away. It is said that once, when a devotee informed him that there was no food left to serve a poor man who had arrived late, Vallalar quietly gave up his own meal and personally served the guest. He said, "When someone comes hungry, it is God who has come in that form. If we let them go empty-handed, we have failed the divine." He had renounced even the smallest trace of selfishness, whether in thought, speech, or deed. He never kept more than he needed, never claimed ownership, and believed that true devotion to God is to live for the well-being of others. Vallalar's vision of Samarasa Sanmargam, the path of equality, compassion and universal love, stands as a timeless call to mankind: restrain selfishness, live for others, and let mutual love be the flame that lights our way, just as his eternal Jyoti still shines today. Shri Brahmachaitanya Maharaj reminds us that true mutual love blossoms only when selfishness is restrained. Saint Vallalar's life is a shining example of this teaching in action, where personal needs were surrendered at the feet of compassion, and every act became an offering of love to all beings. If we sincerely begin to live with the attitude, "I am more for others than for myself," then even in the smallest interactions, God's presence becomes real. Let us begin by softening our speech, yielding our ego, and offering our time and care with no expectation. In doing so, we don't just grow spiritually, we help the whole world become a little more loving, peaceful, and divine. Let every remembrance of God's name, Namasmarana, be filled with the spirit of service and love for all. That is the path to true devotion and true joy.